Our guest tonight is Carole Law. She's one of a kind and she's so PE. And I want to bring her on now. Ladies and gentlemen, Mrs. Claw.
Hello.
Lovely to have you on. You are 77 years old, and I know I shouldn't say the age, say a lady's age, but you don't look a day older than 65, and you are incredible. You're not afraid to say what you think, and that's something that doesn't come around often, especially as you get older. You tend to get set in your ways, and I think somehow you've managed to get right out of that. You've burst out of that bubble.
Well, I do try and stay in showroom condition as much as I can, you know.
Absolutely.
Not always easy, doll. Yeah, and I know your favorite carrots. Carrots!
Yes.
You know, we used to waltz down Main Street and then we used to go, carrots! And she used to go absolutely bananas. And she went into not Woolworths, to OK Bazaars one day, and it was the hula hoop days. And you know, she always had that dirty little bandage wrapped around her leg. Anyway, so she got on this hula hoop and she was giving it stick. Because, you know, they used to play that song, hula hoop, you know, and then she used to give it a tonk there. But I loved her. I thought she was fabulous. And she was actually quite an interesting person, you know, that she could tell your fortune. And one day she and I met at Happy Valley. And she told me that I would go across the waters and I would meet a man and his name would have a P and a B in it and I would marry him. And guess what? I went across the waters and I married Peter Bishop. Was that a fluke or what?
No, that's carrots. Then she knew her stuff, obviously.
She knew her stuff, I'm telling you.
Yeah. And that's interesting. I've heard a lot about carrots.
No, you missed out there. And I mean, she had that gorgeous red hair. And she had this daughter called Hazel. And Hazel had about 20 children. But they you know, Hazel used to walk with the children in a row behind her, you know, like little ducklings, you know,
Ducklings.
from the tallest down to the smallest, you know, like a tail trailing behind her. But she was a bit of a sourpuss. I wasn't mad about her.
Well, Kathy Marsh says that carrots used to swear at us. I think she used to swear at a lot of people.
She used to say, I'll only say it later because I don't swear much.
I'm sure you don't.
Of course I don't. One of my favorite party nights was it was my farewell from PE at one time was leaving, and also my birthday at the same time. And I lived in Irvine Street at the time, in the house with the swimming pool and the tunnel, which I had actually put in myself.
Oh, somebody spoke about that the other day.
I didn't physically put it in, but I had it put in by Peter Skuman put that in. Because, you know, he did that at where Lamed is. That was his house. And when I saw it, I said, I have to have that. So he was building the pool, so he put the tunnel. It cost an extra 500 Rand to put the tunnel in.
Fantastic.
Those were the
go
days,
from one room into the other.
Yeah. No, you dived. The tunnel was in, the whole of the tunnel was in what used to be the toilet, which was going to be the sauna. And then you dived in that hole, and then you swam through the tunnel into the swimming pool outside.
Wow.
Now, to answer Brent's number 3 Irvine, it's still there. I went to see it the other day. Brent's question, we had this party, and I was working at the Elizabeth at the time. So for weeks before, the chefs were making the punch in these huge, big, the big rubbish bin that you put out with your black bag now, that size. Yes. They were in the fridge with all the fruit, you know, getting really very overripe, and all the liquor. Every so often we'd throw another few bottles of whatever in there.
The punch.
That was the pre-party thing. So the party went on for 3 days. There was there was a mushroom cloud hanging over the house for 3 flippin' days. And what happened was we used to get the Elizabeth Combi would fetch the staff from the hotel, bring them to the party, then pick up the people from the party, take them back to work. So that was the shuttle for 3 days. Then I had to go into the north because it was apartheid days in those days, but we didn't bother about that. Yes. And then I went with my friend to the northern areas to her house to get some more liquor to throw in that bloody... God, by the end of that week, I think it was the Tuesday, I eventually woke up, I didn't go to sleep, but... Brent, that was one of the parties. I don't know, there were a few others, but that one was one.
He's got another question. If you were younger, would you consider Juju as another husband?
My God, could I be so lucky? I'm his biggest fan. I love him.
I know that.
But we won't go there now because I don't want everybody to switch off.
Oh, no, they won't switch off. I think they quite like that about you, Carole. I think it's... the fact that you don't toe the line. What do you like about Juju? What do you like about Juju?
Well, first of all, I love his sense of humor.
Yes,
he might have failed woodwork in standard 3, but he is highly intelligent.
Yeah.
He is very, very clever. And of course, I can't help it. I really admire him. I think he's fabulous. And until anyone proves me wrong, I'm carrying on thinking that. It's my brain. I can think what I like.
Absolutely.
But he is very pro the goggles too, hey?
Yeah.
He's very pro goggle.
He's been Women's Day. He's been doing the whole thing for Women's Day and everything. That's been good. Nobody will, but I watched on YouTube. It was phenomenal. Because he's very, very pro-woman and anti-abuse of women and children. And, and I believe him because if he was guilty of anything, because, he did accuse Cyril of beating his previous wife, you know that. Oh, yes.
On national television.
Oh, he did. Yeah. Okay.
So all I'm saying is... if the cap fits, wear it. Why hasn't he been accused of any of that yet?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Fuck that. They must leave him alone.
See, your voice becomes all soppy when you speak of Juju. It's love.
Yeah.
She'll choose him over me, and I've been her bestie for 20 years, says Elka.
I'm not going to comment on that. You know what I mean?
Where were the Jawls? Tell me where the Jawls were.
There was Warmer Town Hall, which I see is now the place for the homeless. But anyway, in those days, we all had homes. We had a fabulous time at Warmer Town Hall. Kings Beach and Summerstrand Lifesaving. It was, of course, the Lifesavers. Oh, my God. Some of them are still quite sexy, I might tell you. And then... you know what I didn't mention to you ever about Dodd's Farm?
Oh, yes. It's just up the road here, Mrs. Claw. It's like literally... okay.
Yeah. Dodd's Farm used to have a jaw. And then, of course, it was quite convenient because when you wanted to go and get off with somebody, you ran in the bush there, it wasn't like it's not so nice when you have to go in the sand, like at the beach. When and you get that salty crack.
Is it better in the bulrushes then?
Yeah. Yeah.
Charles Leslie says hello there. There we go. Is this the story?
Hello, my darling, you sexy devil.
He says you're PE's first cougar.
I am. I was PE's first cougar. Nobody even knew what a cougar was. They thought I was a mummy as an Egyptian.
Isn't she still a cougar? That's what John's saying over there.
No, I've lost interest now, I can look, but, I can only imagine. No, John. It's too much, and I can't imagine ever being involved with any man again, or a woman for that matter. Not that I've ever tried it. But, no, it's not for me.
Briggs. There's Mike Briggs. Do you know Mike Briggs?
Oh, my darling, I love you so much. You know, I knew him before. When I was in Dad's bag, Dad, he was still in Dad's bag. And that's how long I've known him.
You're in choke on water. We want water. My
Ask
drink.
him. Ask him.
Oh, it's just, John Berger says you're just warming up now. You're bloody
Oh,
right.
I haven't
see
started
that.
yet, darling. Well, Jetty Street, we used to jaw down there. You know what I loved about Jetty Street? It was so, like, international. Then you had all the sailors coming off the castle liners. And, you know,
Here we go.
and then, yes, and then, you know, you had this specific group of girls in PE in those days called the Lamy Jollers. And they used to go out with all the Lamies, and they used to jaw to the Big Beat. So I used to go to the Big Beat with Cyril sometimes because he played in the band there.
Was there a club
But it-
there in Jetty Street?
Yeah, it was very seedy, which I loved. You know, I love all that. I love that sordidness, you know.
Yes.
So I used to love it. But Jetty Street was fantastic, and then in Jetty Street was the new Rand Cafe. So we used to swing in there, try on every single pair of sunglasses in the shop and buy fuck all and walk out again, which of course he didn't like at all. Then we used to go to Olaf's Fisheries and buy some of those delicious crisps they used to make. They came in in a silver packet, and they were so divine. I start salivating even thinking about it now. They were fabulous. Next to the Campanile was the Albany Hotel, just behind the Bioscope
Yes.
there. And Alfie and Harry lived there because their parents ran the hotel.
Okay.
So we used to jaw down there sometimes too. And then in Jetty Street was the Astra Bioscope, and upstairs was the new Metro Tea Lounge.
Oh.
But there was also a men's bar there.
Oh,
So
Lemon Tree.
Lemon
Somebody's
Tree.
saying
Yeah.
Lemon Tree. Oh, Lemon Tree.
Lemon
Yeah,
Tree,
that's
yeah.
right. Oh, the furniture place. Oh, okay,
Yeah.
okay. Other side of the road.
Yeah. So anyway, so we used to go up. If we were watching a movie in the Metro, then we used to sit in the tea lounge, MTL, Metro Tea Lounge, and then the guys used to go to the men's bar because we weren't allowed in the men's bar.
Oh,
You know, it was men only.
I'm sure you
can
loved that.
Can you Adam and Eve that? For God's sake.
Exactly.
Anyway, so guess what? They used to buy us a ginger square and bring it out, and then we used to drink it before the show. And you know, talking about the show, did you remember about that place, that Bioscope where the movie just ran on and on and on and on, and all the dirty old men used to go and sit and expose themselves in there. You got a free cold drink, and I think you might even got a biscuit. I'm not sure, but anyway, because we used to bunk out of school and go and watch the movie, because you can go in the middle and sit and watch till it gets to the middle again. And the light, I think the reason the lights were always half on was because of all of those dirty old men in there.
Yes.
I reckon probably paedophiles. We didn't know what a paedophile was in those days.
Exactly.
We know now. We know now.
Lynn Damon's asking if you've been married before.
You know I've been married 3 times, Lynn. Stop making shit now.
So tell us about all the husbands then, Mrs. Claw.
Well, there's one that's still alive. It's a bit dodgy, you know.
Okay.
I blocked him on Facebook, but who knows, you know.
Yes, he could be watching. He could be one of my
oh.
friends.
Exactly. He lives in Port Alfred these days.
Oh, I see.
Suffice to say that I get bored very quickly. And also I'm a bit of a glutton for punishment.
Oh, right.
So it took me 3 times to realize that it's not for me.
Okay.
And then I had the 2 toy boys, the one being Hewlett.
Oh, Huey Hewlett.
Yeah, he was 13 years younger than me. He was a divine.
Oh.
He was a surfer. I loved him. But you know, it was more of a sexual thing than anything actually. I mean, didn't have much in common. And then came Mario. Mario lasted longer than any of them. He was around for 10 years.
The chef, Mario the chef.
Yeah, then I cut the ball and chain off his leg. I said, off you go, you free boy. So off he went, and that was the end of it, no more.
Here we go. Jennifer's asking, which husband was your favorite?
You know, the children used to always say who had the best dad. I don't want to say on live.
So you
Facebook
don't want to choose
what I used to tell them. It's not pretty. It's not pretty. I can be very nasty.
Oh dear. Oh dear. All right, we had so much fun stripping every Friday morning through the evening in Stanley Street.
We did. You know, I mean, we used to love joining the strumpets because, you know, they were on another level. And reminded me about, you know, maybe that's what I would have done in the day had I thought of it. I mean, you know, I never thought of it. I mean, I was a bit of a strumpet, but it just didn't have that name. Talking of strumpets, did I tell you about Elise?
No. Tell us about Elise.
You know, I used to love these kind of strange people, and Elise was very strange. She had this big black thing on her head. What you call it? The beehive.
Yes.
And then she used to shave her eyebrows and then paint them on up to her thing like this. And she was fascinating. I couldn't get over her. I used to watch her all the time, and I was very fond of her. Anyway, and she used to get absolutely drunk, and then she used to say, Carole, I might be gerook, but I'm still society. I love all that commonness, you know, I love it.
It's great.
So, it's
life, isn't it?
Yeah, and you know, the Lanis can't stand any of that, you know. They get,
Leon's yes.
She was. And she was beautiful. She really was. I mean, she was amazing.
Yes, you were quite a looker yourself, you know, Mrs. Claw. Still are, you know.
Ooh. Careful now. Careful.
How it is, don't you worry.
You know, you might get those hormones back on the route march. Watch out.
Stand at attention, indeed. Oh, no.
Thank God I've still got my marbles. Can you imagine?
You've got more than your marbles.
It's bad enough having my marbles. Can you imagine when I lose them? That's why I can't drink. It's not a pretty sight. You know, I'm difficult enough to control when I'm sober. Yes. Can you imagine? Say no more.
Sharp as a razor, Mrs. Claw.
Restaurants today that I love, which I still go to occasionally, is first of all Heritage Cafe, because it's in Central, and you know I live in Central, and I'm a Centralite, and I love Central, and fuck anyone that doesn't like it, because they don't know any better. You can keep your Mill Park Road, thank you very much, Mommy.
Tell us what you love about Central, tell us.
Well, you know, it's got an energy that doesn't exist in other places. And you know, I work with energy, so I feel it. And I love the people. I love the mixture of people, you know. And especially where I live, like when you go, they all walk down the stairs to Govan and Becky. So I have long convos with all of them, you know. I mean, I call shit in the street all the time because, you know, I'm now in...
The new carrots.
The new carrots, because I'm now encouraging the criminals, because I give them the odd bloody bit of food or whatever, an orange or whatever. So, you know, I don't get on very well with most of my neighbours. They can't stand me. No. But you know what I told you? Anyone who doesn't like me, what did I say? Got no taste.
What do you love about PE?
I think it's the people, you know. I mean, I when I had, when Rona came to visit me, which was in the early days.
Yes, you got coronavirus.
You know,
I know, I heard about that.
I didn't tell anyone at the time. Only the nearest and dearest knew. And they were worried because I said, just leave me alone. If I'm going to die, I'll die. If I get better, I'll get better. But Elkie was worried that only 50 people could go to the fucking funeral. I mean, hello. What does she think? We must get the stadium or what? Anyway, because I said all I want is they must just cremate me and give me my last blowjob and blow the ashes out to sea. That could be the end of that.
Blow them out to sea. Thank you, Mrs. Claw. You've been a fantastic breath of fresh air here on Gino's Spot tonight. Thank you for coming.
Thank you for putting up with me. You'll get my invoice in the post. Thank you, my darling.
It's a pleasure. Ciao.
Mwah. Love
Ciao,
you
Mrs.
lots.
Claw.
Bye.
Love you too.